Let's discuss this now with Janine Hicks, project leader at the South African Law Reform Commission. Janine, thank you so much for speaking to us this evening on Newsnight. So just to sort of set the scene, what amount are we talking about, and who would qualify according to the means test?
Okay, so first of all, just to put that in a bit of context, the South African Law Reform Commission, we just recently had our report adopted by the Commission and put now before our relevant government departments. We are actually calling for a broader slate of reform pertaining to South Africa's maternity protections. Currently, we only have a mechanism for workers who fall within the formal economy, workers who are regarded as employees who contribute to the Unemployment Insurance Fund. So our Project 143, was part of a broader research and slate of recommendations for law reform to expand that social security net to bring a broader category of women workers, of pregnant women workers from the informal economy, workers in atypical forms of employment, own account workers, women who run their own businesses who would otherwise be disqualified from obtaining paid maternity leave. So we have one component of our law reform recommendations are to expand the definitions of who would qualify for that social insurance, who'd be able to contribute to the UIF and draw down maternity protection. But that's only one component. That's the social insurance component. And what our studies tell us and what our international labor law frameworks tell us is that we have to couple not only social insurance, but we have to bring in social assistance. So means of support, particularly for poor and marginalized categories of women. And this is where the South African Law Reform Commission has thrown its weight behind calls for a maternity support grant. We've drawn on studies undertaken by groups such as the Centre for Health Policy. We're glad to say that in our conversations with the Department of Social Development, the idea enjoys support amongst the Department of Social Development as well. What we have proposed, you asked for the quantified, what is the value of that? What we are proposing is that essentially we take what we now have as the child support grant, and as it were extended backwards into pregnancy, that it becomes available to the pregnant woman from the moment of conception upon proving that she is pregnant, using the same basis for which someone would qualify for the child support grant, and it would be at the same, the same value of the current child support grant, which is 510 Rand per month currently.
Just talk to us a little bit about the means test, because in your explanation of the amount of women who work outside of the formal sector or outside of that traditionally recognized employment situation where maternity leave is an option to them, many of these would be in a circumstance where they would desperately rely on such a grant, but some of them may not qualify.
I lost you there. Sorry, Emily, I've lost your sound.
Oh, goodness. Can you hear me now? It seems we have lost Janine. Janine, I'm just double checking one more time. Can you hear me at all? Unfortunately not. We'll try and re-establish that connection with Janine Hicks, project leader at the South African Law Reform Commission, just to get some more insight into the proposed pregnancy grant that commission is working on. We'll try and re-establish that connection shortly.